it's Keely here for Soy and Shea. Thank you so much for joining me for today's very exciting video. Well, it's exciting for me anyway. I have been keeping a secret for quite some time now, and my patrons do know a little bit about what has been going on, and that is I have decided to take the next step with my business and open up a shop. I have been doing markets now for 9 years at the end of this year, 2021. And I decided it was time to actually move into a shop, and instead of having one market a week, we'll be open for 5 days a week just to make it a little bit more accessible to people. And this is the space that I am in. This is actually, I got the keys on Tuesday lunchtime and it's actually Thursday morning. I'm just waiting for the painter to arrive. So it's actually still quite dark outside because tradesmen always start early. Yesterday, which was Wednesday, was the first day we actually got stuck in here. I got a little bit of footage for you guys, and I didn't realize the battery in the camera was flat, so it just went kaput, which was kind of also a good thing because yesterday was the only day I actually had my husband around to help me do some of the big major work. So we got stuck into putting a kitchenette in our back little room, which I'll take you through to in just a moment. Really needed a hand with that because some of the work is quite heavy lifting and there was lots of sawing, drilling and everything else. So I really needed his help and couldn't really stop to do a lot of footage. But from this point forward until these next couple of days off, it is just me. So I will be able to do a little bit more footage because most of that hard work is done. As I said, I'm waiting for the painter to turn up, but until he gets here, let me take you for a very quick look around. It is in its sort of shell at the moment, and then once we get everything done, I'll give you an even better look around. So let's go and have a look. Alright, so we've got the front door over here. You can see it's just starting to get nice and light now. This dark wall across the back, that is being painted a nice light white with a slight peach in it. And we're going to have a dark grey wall across the back here. Then we come round, we've got another wall which will be this peach, and I'll do peach on here. We've got an air conditioning unit as well. I've got all sorts of ideas for that window. I'm going to do some nice Christmas displays and things. So this sort of front area up to where that corner of the wall is, this will all be shop area, and then I'm going to have a making area in the back. This is part of the kitchen that I was putting together yesterday. Gotta love IKEA flat packs. It's been an adventure. So we come through this little back door here, and this is where the kitchenette is that we're putting in. Doesn't seem to echo as much in here. So one of the conditions for me taking this was that they were going to install water. So we've got this, look at this sink. This sink is absolutely gorgeous. We want it in our house, but it's too big. Let me get this top out of the way. Got two nice, really big, deep bowls in here. I'm going to have a set of drawers, my dishwasher. I've got to get the cupboard doors to go in there because they were out of stock. This will have a cupboard door and a drawer. And then when we turn around here, I'm going to put a big shelving rack on here, which will have all of the ingredients. If we come back out through this door, I will need to go and put the light on. So I've just put the light on. It's a little bit rough down this end. I'm going to give it a really good clean out today. So we come down this corridor and there is just like a little back room here. I'm going to give this a really, really good clean, and this will probably be where I store all of the candle jars and wax and stuff like that. We've got a back door into the place. Don't think I'm really going to use it very much, but we've got a nice little back area here. And then this little water tank and a little space here. As you can see, the floor really does need a very good clean, so we're going to get the bleach out today. And as an added bonus, I have my own bathroom as well, so that's really good because all of the other spaces don't. So that's a really, really quick tour of the area that I have here. I'm going to take you along for the rest of the sort of journey. It's going to take me about 2 weeks to get this set up, and then I hope to be open up on one of the biggest trading days here in Cleveland. We have something called Crazy Day, and I'm hoping to open up and coincide with that day. So let's go and start finishing. Well, I need to go and start finishing putting this kitchen cabinet together. As I said, the painters are going to come in, paint the wall, and then we'll get on to some more fun stuff. Let's go. Alright, so the drawer's in. I'm missing the front plate at the moment because it was out of stock, but I've popped it in so I know where to actually put the cupboard door on underneath. So that's my next job. Good morning guys, it is Friday morning, it is about 20 past 6 and I am back into my shop. The painter has kind of underestimated how much work needed to be done. So the painting should have been done yesterday, but he discovered that a whole heap of plastering actually needed to be done. So as you can see behind me, we have this big patchwork. He's going to get here at 7 o'clock this morning and he is going to get all this sanded and painted. So hopefully that is done. And then all of next week I can start putting in all of the shelving. So while he was out there doing all the painting, so I came in here, I finished putting handles on all of my drawers. I didn't put it on the cupboard because I want my handle to go the same way as this, and I was kind of wondering if that was how I did them in the shed at home. You know, you use things so much you just kind of don't really pay attention anymore. So this morning I double checked that I did put my handle so it went across the cupboards and not down. So I'm going to put that one going across. I went and bought some silicone last night after we finished up in here about 3 o'clock. So I went to Bunnings, bought some silicone to put around the inside of the sink hole, and I also went to IKEA last night and picked up the shelving, which I did as click and collect. If you don't know, here in Australia, when IKEA first came out with their click and collect, it cost an absolute fortune. It was something like $45 or $50 to have things picked. It's now only $5. So I actually went and got them to pick my order for me because I had 40 shelves, which I'm about to bring in. But I also cleaned up in this area. This isn't an area that many people are going to see. It's going to be specifically storage. I think all that yellow on the floor there, that is all from the sun coming through the door, and it's just coloured it. But I did manage to get all of the rust stains and everything from off of here. My mum has said that maybe we can look at putting some fresh lino down in here, just to try and really tidy it up. But once I get my shelving in here, it should be pretty good. I also got the floor completely clean in my bathroom too, so we're happy with how it's coming along now. So while I'm waiting for the painter to actually turn up, I'm going to start bringing in my IKEA shelves that are in the back of the car. They're the really big 83 centimeters by 50 centimeter ones, which is why the IKEA was so good yesterday, because I got 40 of them and I just figured someone else can go and pick them, I'll just put them in the car. So instead of handling them, you know, half a dozen times, I've only had to handle them a couple of times. So I'm going to go and start bringing those in. Just got to work out where I'm going to put them to keep them out the way of the painter, but also so I don't have to keep lugging them around in here as well. So let me go and work that one out. Good morning, guys. It is Saturday morning and I am back into the shed. A bit of an unplanned back into the shed, but it's gonna work out in the end. There's been a few debacles this week and there have been a lot of tears. There's been a lot of happiness, but there's been a lot of tears as well, and I'm really hoping that next week is going to be better and I can start to get a lot more footage for you guys. So there is a little bit of a story that goes behind it, and I thought I will share a little bit of what has been happening, because, you know, I don't know how many people have caught it, but I did an interview with George from Dawn Organics not long ago, and he asked what sort of advice I would give to people who are looking to start a new business. And one of the things I mentioned in there is that when you are looking for businesses that you are aspiring to be like, or you want to kind of see how they do things, to be very aware that quite often what we are portraying on social media is probably 98% of the time happy things. So we're talking about having a really good sales day at the market, or really good product launch online, or we're talking about how wonderful this product looks and all that sort of stuff. We're really promoting the good side of things. But at the end of the day, running a business is not easy. It is hard, and it's one of those things, and I've said to my patrons, the longer you do this, it doesn't get any easier. The challenges just change as you grow and they become more complex, but you learn how to deal with it as you're going along. And this sort of week, there have been a lot, or yesterday there were a lot of tears. There are businesses out there, you think that they're doing really well, that everything's hunky-dory, and yet you don't see them sitting on the couch in their low times crying to their partners, their family, their loved ones, their friends, you know, pouring their heart out about their worries and everything else. And it is just the way it is. Like, we don't always want to share every inch of our lives with everybody, but it is a very real part of doing business. And yesterday was one of those days where there were a lot of tears when there shouldn't have been any at all. The short of it is that the painter I've hired to paint my shop, I actually decided to hire a painter because I figured it's going to take me a week to paint the shop, and a painter should be able to get it 2 days max, a professional painter. The painter that we chose to hire, they were the painters that painted in our house, and the person that runs the business does all the painting at my husband's workplace. He's a commercial painter, and when they came to give us the quote in the house, I asked if he would be able to paint my shop for me as well, which he said he could. He was meant to come around and give me a quote on the shop the other day, and decided that he was just too busy, and he would quote me via the pictures I'd sent him and the wall dimensions. And he asked me what patchwork needed doing. Me, as an untrained painting professional, said there was a dozen to 2 dozen screw holes in the wall that would need patching up. And he quoted me based off of that. Anyway, the painter that's been sent to us, he's doing a really thorough job, and probably is going a little bit over the top. I think this shop area is going to look like a brand new part of the building by the time he's actually finished. But he's come in and he's decided, as you've seen from the footage, that it wasn't just a few screw holes that needed patching up. But he's literally plastered every inch of the wall. I would have been far better off pulling the plasterboard down and sticking new plasterboard up, to be honest. It would have been a lot cheaper, a lot quicker. So he's done all this plastering, which set him back a day. So already we were up to 2 days. Now, I've dealt with enough tradesmen to know that when they say they can get something done in 1 day, it's usually 2. Or if they say they'll get it done in 3 days, you add an extra day on just to cover your butt. You don't plan to do anything on the day after they reckon they're going to have it done, because very, very rarely do they do that, because they very rarely factor in unforeseen events that may pop up. So I'd already factored in 2 days, so I wasn't too worried about that. I spent, while he was plastering, I spent that sort of afternoon, 2 or 3 hours in the back room, which you saw. I was down on my hands and knees scrubbing that disgusting lino until it was clean. I sugar soaked all of my walls, everything, every inch of dirt was got out of that little back room, so I could start moving my candle stuff in on Friday. So I got up early on Friday and went and let the painter in, and he said, all right, I'm going to get to sanding. And I said, all right, while you're doing that, I'm going to go and grab the stuff that I need to put into the back room. So I went back home because I'd left home at like 6 o'clock in the morning to get down there. I hadn't had breakfast, hadn't had a coffee. So I got home, got breakfast, got coffee, sat and had a quick talk with hubby, and then came in here and started breaking down some of the shelving. And I went back down the shop, and as I walked around the front, I initially thought he'd painted one of the walls, and then I realized I couldn't actually see the door frame in the back of my shop, and I couldn't see him, and I realized that the shop front was full of dust. And when I actually ventured in through the door, the floor must have had a good 2 or 3 mil of plaster dust all over it. Everything was covered, like the windows are so covered in plaster dust. It's going to take a bit to clean them, because when you wet plaster dust, it turns to plaster, so it's really hard to actually clean it up. I walked into the back area because it's a little bit of a windy thing, thinking it might be okay out there, and it wasn't. All this cleaning work I had done the day before was just basically for nothing. I had to get back in and vacuum it all up. I had to wash all the walls back down again because everything was just covered in dust. I thought I was going to have to replace this camera because I'd left the camera in the back room and it was covered in dust. So hopefully the speaker's working okay on it today. We'll find out when I go to edit. So the only thing I could do to stop myself from bursting into tears was to go to the post office. So I kind of walked back out and I said, I'm going to the post office to post my parcels, because I'd taken my orders from the night before down. And it took all my might to hold it together while I walked 5 minutes down the road, posted my parcels and walked back. And on my walk back, I thought, right, put your big girl pants on. There's no point crying. It's not going to get anything done. Just start cleaning up. He's almost finished sanding. I can start cleaning. So I started cleaning up, and I turned around and my husband's standing at the back door, and that was it. I lost it. I absolutely lost it, because I knew he was going to be upset as well. And we had a bit of a cry out the back. And while I was out the back having a cry, my mum's turned up with a great big industrial vacuum that my dad uses for his workplace, and she said, I thought you were going to need this. She's had plastering done in her house, just in a little bathroom, and she knew how bad it was going to be. So she just she tried to warn me but knew I wasn't understanding it, so she just turned up the next day with this big vacuum. Both her and my husband got into cleaning everything up, and I started cleaning the back room and then started putting the things together that I wanted to put in there, and it started to come together a little bit, and the painter then started to paint. And I was promised so many times that he would get that work done on Friday night. He would stay back as late as he could and he would finish it. And I had other plans. I was going around to my parents for dinner that night, so I said it had just gone 3 o'clock, it was about 20 past 3. I said, all right, I'm going to go home, I'm going to go and get my dog, drop her off at my parents. I said, do a couple of other things. I said, you think you'll be finished by about 6:30? He said, yeah. I said, I'll come back and I'll get the key from you. And I went home. I didn't get home until almost 10 to 5. There was an accident on the way home, and what should have been a 20-minute trip home took me an hour 20 to actually get home. I was just, this is unbelievable. And then on my way, I quickly fed the dog, had a quick shower just to get rid of the dust, and I headed back out over to my mum's, and I was halfway there when I got a phone call from the painter to say that he wasn't going to get it finished. And I was just, I can't even explain how I was feeling. And he said that he would be back on Sunday. And I said, oh. He said, I've already got another job on for Saturday, I can't do it. And I said, so you will come back on Sunday, as it has to be done on Sunday because I need to start doing stuff on Monday. Yep, I'll be back on Sunday. So because of the way he's all set up, I can't even get in there today to start putting stuff together, which is set me back. I've gone from doing 1 day of painting. This will essentially be 3.5 days that I've lost through the painting, so I may as well have done it myself and saved myself a whole heap of money. So I thought, well, rather than sitting about the house moping, I need to get into my shed. I need to actually get my my pamper packs all ready to go out on Monday, so it's not going to be a complete waste. I'm going to start getting some more of this sort of stuff all packed up so that on Monday I can just start ferrying stuff over and getting myself all set up over there. So enough yakking. I'm going to get kind of cracking into doing the stuff I need to do. Not sure how much of the footage I'm going to get because I left my tripod at the shop, and you kind of balanced on top of the bath bomb press. I'll give you a look. I've got you balanced on that. But look at the mess I have got in here. So goodness knows how I'm going to get the pamper box all done. Actually, I do know because most of the pamper box stuff is actually made. If we come through into here, you can see all this stock that I'd been stocking up on, and a lot of that is for the pamper box. So we should be right, but I'm going to start getting all this into boxes so we can start getting this one packed down as well. But I'm going to finish yakking at you guys and give you a little bit more music. Okay, so I am at the end of my Saturday afternoon and a lot has happened, a lot has changed, and this is getting really stressful. So this morning at probably about 10 o'clock, I think it was, my husband came in to me and he said that we've gone into a snap 3-day lockdown. So it is what it is, and I thought, well, it's actually not that bad a thing because having the lockdown is going to mean that tomorrow's Cleveland markets isn't going to be on. It's a bit of a shame because that was, you know, another chance for me to promote to my customers that I was moving into a shop. So that's, for me, apart from the fact I get no sales, that was going to be a chance for me to direct customers to the new shop. So we'll see what happens. But I thought, well, that means that hopefully on Sunday, even though we're in a lockdown, because the shop is technically my work area and it's only going to be me in there, I will be able to go into my shop and start setting up some of the shelves and things. So I quickly called the painter who he initially said he was going to go in on Sunday to finish the painting. He only had 2 or 3 hours left. I quickly called him and he said that he was on his way to the shop right then because he was at his other job. They'd just done the first coat, and while that was drying they were going to go and do my shop, and again stated it was only 2 or 3 hours. So I thought, well, that's excellent. That means I will be able to get into the shop on Sunday and I can actually catch up on the day that I've lost throughout this whole painting debacle. So I said, all right, well, I'll come by in about 3 hours then, 3 to 4 hours, and I'll come and pick up the key from you just as you're finishing. And I said, I've got to go to IKEA. Click and collect from IKEA, guys. Oh my goodness, they've really changed that. That's a whole other story, but it's now actually only $5 for click and collect rather than about 45 or 50 or whatever it was they were charging. So I've been doing click and collect at IKEA, and oh, it's wonderful. So I said, I've got to go and pick up my my IKEA order, and I'll bring it round for in about 3 or, you know, when he'd basically be finishing up. So I got my
message from IKEA to say that my order was ready to go and pick up. So I went and picked it up, and I got to the shop at about 2 o'clock. So this is 4 hours after our initial phone call. And I got there, and I knew it wasn't anywhere near finished. And I said, you know, I've got all this stuff in the car I need to bring in. And I was basically told, well, we're only going to be half an hour, so no, you can't bring it in. It wasn't quite in those words, but the general gist of the conversation was I was just going to have to wait. So I went back out and I got a cup of coffee from the coffee shop. Just to make it clear, lockdown started at 4 o'clock. So while I was still out at 2 and 3 o'clock, I was fine. So I went and grabbed a cup of coffee and I sat down in the sun just to kind of unwind. My mum came and joined me. An hour and a half later, we were still sitting outside the shop, and it was 20 to 4, you know, 20 minutes until lockdown started. So I've basically gone in, I've seen that it's finally finished painted, and that they were just doing cleanup. They were using our vacuum, because they didn't have a vacuum, to clean up the floors and stuff. And I said, look guys, don't worry about cleaning up. Lockdown starts in 20 minutes. I need to get my stuff out the car in here, and Mum and I need to get home because we don't have a valid reason for being out of the house once lockdown starts. Not, you know, not tonight. Apart from the fact that I will actually have a valid reason, because I can't do work from home. I have to go into the shop. But I didn't want to let on about that. So I basically kicked him out at 20 to 4. Mum and I unloaded what I had in the car, and then we've come home. So I've come home. I'm just wrapping up all of the pamper boxes ready to go out. But it does mean that tomorrow I can actually go into the shop and start setting up my flat pack stuff. I am so looking forward to this. I am really now hoping that the fun actually begins. And we are about 5:30 at night. Going to get these boxes done. I need to get some photographs done of the soaps, because they're all ready to go online. I just haven't had a chance to photograph them. So hopefully going to get that done in the next sort of half an hour. Then we'll go inside, and I think we're going to have a bit of a sit down and a movie night, because I haven't done that for a long time. So I will take you into the shop tomorrow and give you a bit of a tour, show you what the actual new paint looks like. Don't get me wrong, it looks absolutely wonderful, but I'm just kind of over it now. So I'm going to go, as I said, finish up in here, and then I'm going to go and watch a movie. So I will catch you tomorrow, my Sunday, for what should have been the markets. But hey, we've got to look at the positives. I'm going to actually get some work done tomorrow. So very excited. I will catch you soon. Alright, so it's Sunday morning. I am back down the shop. Hubby and I have just brought down all the flat pack stuff. We're just about to start vacuuming and mopping the floor to get rid of all of this sort of painting dust, and then we're going to start putting some flat pack together. So I'm going to go and take it through and have a look out the front. It's really noisy, so we'll just put some music to it. And we've got a mix of the Hoover, music and all sorts going. So let's go and take a look. Okay, so we have done a fair bit today. We've pretty much got all of the flat pack stuff together. Mum and I have just done this. This is going to be the point of sale counter. So we've done all of that. This shelf over here, that is going to be where all the candles go. So we'll sort out where they are all going to fit. Now these cabinets here that are kind of half done, this is going to be my packing station. So we're just waiting on a couple of extra bits. We can finish that. I've got all my stainless steel tables all done up as well. And over in the corner tomorrow, I am going to bring down my soap cure rack. So that is it for today. I'm going to head off home. I'm going to go and put my feet up, and I'll be back tomorrow to do some more. So I'll see you then. Good morning, it is Monday morning. We have spent the morning in the studio. We have unloaded the shelves, we've brought them down, plus the cure rack. So hubby and I are going to get on to doing that now, and I will show you once we've got it all in place. So we've had a bit of a change of plan since I last started recording. So we, as I mentioned earlier, went into a lockdown for 3 days, and unfortunately more cases have kind of appeared in that first day. So they've now decided that we are locked down right the way through till Sunday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, with a little bit of luck. We'll see what happens. So that does mean that what was going to be my final market is now not going to be. So it looks like I won't be doing any more markets until the shop opens. Looking at it from a positive sort of side of things is that it does mean that I don't have to worry about restocking the trailer and all that sort of stuff. I can kind of just stay in here and I can really get it the way that I'm wanting. So what I've decided to do today is, Mum and I put a whole heap of stuff up out the front. I'll give you a look and pop the light on. It doesn't look like we did an awful lot compared to what we did the other day. I brought down the cure rack and that's on there. We have a couple of soaps on there which do need curing still. So I have got another peppermint and bergamot. We've got the rainbow drops there. Just pretend you haven't seen that one. That's going to be another Constellation one. And down the bottom there, I have actually got an Aleppo soap. There's still just over 200 days left for that one to cure. So we brought the cure rack down so I could get these tables all in place. My mum then started to take all these stickers off these big shelves. These IKEA shelving systems are absolutely brilliant, but these stickers that they stick on them are an absolute pain in the bum. You have to get the heat gun on them to actually get them to come up without ripping and tearing. I then worked out where I needed to put all of my shelves on here so we can get all of our candles. So basically each shelf will have a fragrance and you'll be able to find the candles, the melts, the diffusers, everything to do with that fragrance will be on that shelf for the home fragrance side. I have got a little bit of storage underneath. We haven't done the shelving on this end one completely because the previous tenants that were in here had stuff bolted to the floor. They were told to fix it, and this is how they chose to fix the floors. So the agent has said that they're going to take the bond money out and they're going to fix them. There's another 2 underneath there. There's patches all behind there, in there, and there's one over in that corner as well. So I'm waiting for the maintenance guy to come and fix those. And he's also going to fix this window where they've ripped off a ledge and left big holes. So he's going to come and do that, and then I can start finishing and putting all the candles on there. One of the advantages to having the markets cancelled is that I can now start bringing stock in here. I don't have to have half of it, in the trailer, half of it on the shelf, and not know where stuff is. So there are some positives to being locked down, but Mum and I did all that today. As I said, it doesn't look like a lot, but we actually did do a fair bit this morning. I then came home. I went and did the post office run because we had, I had about 10 parcels to go out. So I went and did that. and then I started packing up some of the ingredients, and they're all going to live in this back room. We've got some more of these Ivar shelving, so hopefully I'm going to get it all in here. We'll see what happens. Might have to be a little bit more strategic and not so neat and tidy when I put out the oils and stuff. At the moment, what we've got down here, so I've got all like the bubbly goodness. I've got some extracts here. I'm going to get some shelving units to go on here. Some thinner, narrower ones so I can put all of my extracts out. Then I have some of the vegetable oils down here. We've got some clays and waxes and other bits and pieces. So I will get it all sorted out. And then tomorrow morning, hubby's going to help me dismantle the wax melting station, and that's going to go along this wall. I got myself another big melter. Let's see. Oh, you can't really see there. Let's turn it around. Got myself another one of the big melters like I said I would. So that's all ready to go, brand new out of the box. But we'll be bringing the other one down and the melt station and setting it up along this table. And then it's pretty much I have to make up my packing station, which is still in bits over here, but at the moment it's just easier to have it in bits so I'm not squeezing between it constantly. But it's all coming together really well. So I am going to finish putting all these ingredients that I bought down onto my rack, and then I'm going to go home. I'll probably pack a few more things in the shed, and then tomorrow hubby and I will come and do that wax melt station. So I'm going to go and do that now. I'm a right mess, aren't I? I'm all red, hot and bothered. It's actually quite a warm day, so I can't wait to get home and just have a shower and get all this dust and yuck off me. So I will see you guys tomorrow for Tuesday. This is part of my point of sale sort of cabinet, but one of the things I've always found at markets, and I found a way to rectify it, is when people come up to the counter, they immediately put everything on top of the counter, which is what you're meant to do. But when you've got all your tissue paper sitting on there and people put things like wet drinks and everything else on top of the tissue paper, it absolutely ruins it. So all I've done here is I've made myself a little return table. So I've popped in a couple of drawer runners. I had a piece of melamine which I've cut down to the right size and just made myself a nice little runner. So I'll sit all of my tissue paper on here, so when it's time to wrap candles, I can just pull this out, wrap the candles up, push it back in, it's out of the way, and it doesn't get damaged when people are putting stuff on top of the counter. So pretty pleased with how that's come up. That's the first time I've ever installed one, and I think I've done a pretty good job at getting that all lined up perfectly. All right, on to the next job.
Okay, so I had an early morning start today. I went home last night, completely packed the car up, and then I was up really early, so I ran it all down here. Hubby's come down as well. We've just unpacked the first load, about to go home and get some more. Really exciting that we can start actually bringing stuff in now. I'm hopefully going to start bringing some of the candles down as well to fill these shelves up. I'm just still waiting on them to come and fix my floor, so there's not much more stock I can actually bring in, but we're going to head home and go and grab some more stuff. Morning guys, it is Sunday morning. We have managed to get so much done this week because Brisbane did go into lockdown, but as I've mentioned earlier, I am working, so I've been allowed to come out and go, and I've not actually been in contact with anyone else. I've been okay to come in here and do this sort of stuff. My husband, they had their hours cut, which is kind of worked in our favour because he's been able to help me most days come in. He's helped me hang all the shelves in here. He's helped me build all the little extra bits. He's set up my sort of point of sale counter with all the printers and everything else. So it kind of has worked to our advantage. Today he is back at work. So it is just me. I've brought down all my packing station stuff. I had brought some of it down the day before, which I kind of really wasn't thinking. I'd been thinking to leave everything at home so I could do any sort of last minute orders that were coming in, and for some reason I brought down all the thank you cards down here, so all the orders I got last night I actually haven't been able to finish off, so I've brought them down here along with all of my packing stuff, and I'll start getting it all kind of really organised in a little moment. Just finding the right shipping bag, so I thought, well, while I'm here I will pack up the first of the orders that are getting packed up in the actual shop here, and then I'll get on to finishing unpacking. Now we are waiting to hear tonight whether or not Brisbane is going to come out of lockdown. Unfortunately, because the Crazy Day markets have been cancelled, I've decided not to actually open on the 11th of August as was planned, and just give myself an extra couple of days just to make sure we've got everything completely sorted. And providing we do come out of lockdown today, I will probably have my grand opening on a Sunday when the Cleveland markets are on. So I'll be able to make that decision a little bit later today once they reveal what's actually happening to us. If we stay in lockdown, well, that just gives me lots of time to really catch up and make sure everything is fully stocked in the shop, ready for when I can actually open. I had lots of people poking their nose through the window today while I'm trying to set up. So I have had to lock the door to make sure that no one comes in. So I'm going to finish getting these parcels packed up. I probably haven't got nearly as much footage as I was hoping to get for you guys, and that is because I've had both my mum and my husband helping me. Just need to find my tape. I decided that because they were here helping me, I should actually be pulling my weight and not actually just moving the camera around and all that sort of stuff. So I got what footage I actually could. And what I'll probably do is actually split this video or this vlog into two. So I'll have a part of it showing how I am actually setting it all up, and then I will do a completely separate video to give you a shop tour as well. So I'll show you exactly what it's going to look like once I've got everything in place. Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning. It is a public holiday here in the Redlands, so it is nice and quiet outside, so I'm taking advantage of it so I can bring some more stuff in. Yesterday I did do a run and brought down my trailer, which was full of stock, and I put all the extra stock in there that I could fit as well. I then did another IKEA run last night when I got home because my order was ready, and then this morning I have got a whole load of more stock in the car to bring in, so I'm going to be doing that today. I did have to stop filming yesterday because for the first time ever my memory card was full, so I had to take the camera home and empty some of the footage. As I said yesterday, I am going to do this in 2 parts. So now that I've got all the stock in here, I am going to basically leave this video here. We'll do one video where you get to see me set up this awesome space I've managed to secure for myself, and then the next video that I will put up onto YouTube will be the shop tour. So once I've got all of this mess all nicely cleaned up and put away, and how I'm going to be presenting the shop to my customers. So I hope you have enjoyed watching how we were doing some of this setup work. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below, and if you've not already, subscribe to the channel and it will let you know when I bring out the shop tour video. So until then, I hope you have a good one and I will see you then. Bye.